Hi everyone, we are from Group 12 with member Rauda, Maria, and Salsa. And here are presentations about evaluation, assessment, and test. So check this out.
Evaluation. What is evaluation? Evaluation is assessing and judging the value of a piece of work. An organization or a service, its main purpose is to help an organization reflect on what it is trying to achieve, assessing how far it is succeeding, and identify required change. Evaluation divided into two parts: learner assessment and courses evaluation. Learner assessment also having admitted the importance of evaluation. There is a lack of guidance how the objective of the course be tested. The lack of testing procedure can be attributed to prejudice against the participating linguists and other practitioners. Yet, this does not imply that there are not tests available. What is lacking is the sound theoretical or empirical basis for ESP testing. There are three basic types of assessment: placement test, achievement test, proficiency test. Placement test. This type of test is used to assess learners' academic ability in a certain field so that he or she can be placed in the appropriate courses. It determines whether the learner needs the courses or what form or courses the learner should take. If a learner is fully qualified in the required skill, no further course necessary, so it can be concluded as placement test, sometimes acts as proficiency test. A placement test is diagnostic as it indicates how far the learner failed to meet the proficiency test. The placement test has a formative value as the result of the test used in forming the content and the nature of the course. Achievement tests are standardized measures of knowledge, information, or procedural learning such as how to do something. Achievement tests may assess general academic skill areas such as reading, writing, or mathematics, or they may test for content knowledge in a specific academic subject such as biology or American history. Proficiency test is an exercise whose aim is to evaluate to the background of a person in a given branch of knowledge with or without regard to specific academic learning. Course evaluation. As an ESP, course needs to satisfy a particular need. Evaluation helps to see how well the course is fulfilling the needs. It helps to determine whether it meets its objective. The result of the evaluation from your starting point for any necessary revision helps to design your order relate your courses and guides to your teaching methodology. And course evaluation, what should be evaluation? How can ESP courses be evaluated? Who should be involved in the evaluation? And when, how often should evaluation take place?
Assessment. Assessment is a process of measuring, and one formal method of measuring is the test. Assessment is the systematic collection, review, and use of information about educational programs undertaken for the purpose of improving learning and development. Assessment is central importance. Every teacher has an interest in knowing whether and to what degree his or her teaching has been successful. Principles of assessment. According to Tracy Hall, not all students are alike. Therefore, in order to best promote learning and to give a valid picture of individual achievement, the assessment process should incorporate the following principles. Assessment process should be planned and communicated to learners and parents prior to instruction. Assessment strategies must align with the prescribed curriculum objectives and with the teaching strategies used. Assessment must be fair and designed to enable each student to demonstrate the full extent of their own learning. Learner assessment, in spite of the importance noted above, which ESP should logically give to assessment of students' performance, there is a general lack of discussion or guidance on ESP testing. For example, while laying down highly detailed procedure for the specification of learning objectives makes no mention at all of how this objective might be tested.
Next, test. ESP tests are related in content, themes, and topics to particular disciplines and involve a higher degree of language specificity. ESP tests are more concerned to present learners with tasks that involve them in reading, listening to, speaking, or writing the target language, and evaluating how well they can do this. ESP there are three basic types of tests. They are placement tests, achievement tests, and proficiency tests. Placement tests are used to place learners in the ESP course most suited to their needs. Therefore, in the first instance, a proficiency test. If a learner is already proficient in the skills required, no further tuition is required. The good placement test should also reveal positive factors. It should show how not just what the learner lacks, but also what potential for learning can be exploited in the ESP course. Next, achievement tests. Achievement tests are used to know how well the learner is keeping up with the syllabus and can be administered. Since it is usually internal to the course, in constructing a good ESP achievement test, you should follow the same basic principles as you would for constructing any test. For example, A. Test what you can reasonably assume for the learners have learned. This is not necessarily the same as what you have taught. B. Your test should test what you actually want it to test. A learner may be able to read and understand something, but unable to put the ideas down in writing. C. Avoid bias in the test. The important point is that getting the correct answer should not depend on specialist subject knowledge outside the material used in the test. And for the last is a proficiency test. Proficiency tests for specific purposes should therefore be able to give reliable indication of whether a candidate is proficient enough to carry out the tasks that will be required.